Hello from Sydney, where it's actually quite cold. There's been a lot of sun, but a lot of wind, and in the evenings it gets quite chilly as well. But I just thought I'd do a quick video just to give an insight really into how the tour is going so far and how things have been, and looking ahead as well to the final game tomorrow against Western Sydney Wanderers. So got here on Friday, it was, straight to the open training session, and there was a good selection of Evertonians there. Players came down, a few photos, a few selfies, things like that, and that was all very good. Saturday was a busy day of fan events. There was the cruises around Sydney Harbour, which were fantastic events. Going around a cruise in such an iconic place, a lot of music, Q&A with a few legends. It was good fun, great turnout. Then there was a bar afterwards with many Evertonians there. Sunday was the day of the game, the first game against Celtic at the Accor Stadium in Sydney at the Olympic Park, and a pretty dire game. Not sure how many people back in the UK will have watched it, but pretty terrible game. Continuing our form back in the UK, out here in Oz, not very encouraging. But obviously we did win the cup 0-0, but we won on penalties. Didn't quite know at the time that it was actually for the Sydney Super Cup. I thought it was going to involve more teams, but it was just that game apparently. So that was good, and then Everton won the trophy, which was great, although there was no trophy left. So I don't know where that trophy is, to be totally honest with you. There was a good turnout, 41,000, which was over half the stadium, which was nice. And a lot of Celtic fans as well, must give them credit. And then the next couple of days, a little bit quieter on the Everton itinerary. But tomorrow is the final game, unrelated apparently to the Sydney Super Cup, but also part of the Sydney Super Cup, who knows. We're playing Western Sydney Wanderers in Parramatta. Western Sydney are an A-League team. There's two teams in Sydney. They are one of them. A little bit more of a smaller ground. Should hopefully be better atmosphere. They've got some decent local fan base, so that should make for a fun game, and a good test. Just to bring the tour to an end. From a footballing perspective, well, I mean, it's questionable in terms of, a long way to come, bit of jet lag. It's also a long way until the season restarts, so they're going to go back to the UK, have a break, and then start training again. Maybe play some matches. Who knows, some behind closed doors friendlies maybe. So the question is, from a footballing perspective, is this of that much use? Probably not. Maybe an opportunity for a few people. We saw Michael Keane, played all right. Isaac Price, a couple of the younger lads in action. So decent for them. But really, it's not going to have too much standing or too much bearing on the rest of our season. But from a commercial perspective, I would say it's been successful so far. I've been surprised how many Evertonians there are here. Many Australians supporting the club. Obviously, Tim Cahill has a big effect on that. Everton have been here in the not too distant memory. So that really helps with the engagement of the fans. And then you've also got the fact that we're a Premier League club, which always helps. You've got a lot of expats who live in Australia, so many Evertonians there. And some people have flown over from different parts of Oz, or a couple of people flown over from Asia as well. So from a commercial point of view, I think it's been good. Fans. There's been a few events where fans have been able to meet the players, playing the two games out here. I'm sure there's a financial incentive for Everton on this tour. So I think that would definitely be deemed as a success. There's been enough interest from people. I've seen Everton shirts around the city, a lot of Celtic shirts as well. So I think commercially, it's been worth coming here. And it's not close enough to the season that all the travel is going to cause that much of a problem for Everton as well. So very much what you'd expect really. It's it's an exercise, a bit of team bonding as well. You know, the players have been spotted out and about around the city. They've been meeting fans as a brunch the other day. So yeah, it'd be nice to round the tour off with a win and an actual decent performance, but I'm not too hopeful given our form at the moment and given the fact that, you know, these are not important games at all in the grand scheme of things. But it would be nice to see, you know, someone like Isaac Price continue his form and have a decent game. So yeah, let me know if you've watched any of the tour so far, or if you've got any questions about what it's been like here, how many fans there are, what there is to do. Yeah, happy to take on any questions. But hopefully this has given you just a little bit of an insight into how Everton's tour down under has gone so far.